Mary the Rich, Duchess of Burgundy, was born on February 13th, 1457 in Brussels. She was the daughter of Charles the Bold, heir to the Dukedom of Burgundy, and his second wife, Isabella of Bourbon. Neither Charles nor his father, Philip the Good, attended the birth, and Isabella of Bourbon had only her mother-in-law, Isabella of Portugal, with her during the birth. Outside of the room, the Dauphin of France, who was then in exile in Burgundy, waited, and once Isabella of Portugal had brought baby Mary to the Dauphin, he asked for the new baby to be named after his mother, Marie of Anjou. Mary's grandmother was quite pleased with her, but Philip the Good, Mary's grandfather, and Charles the Bold, her father, were both disappointed. Since it was only for a girl, Mary's grandfather didn't even attend her baptism. The Dauphin of France acted as Mary's godfather, and Mary's grandmother acted as her godmother. Mary probably spent a lot of time with her mother while she was growing up, so she must have been devastated when, in 1465, her mother died. After her mother's death, Mary moved to Ghent, where her aunt, Anne of Burgundy, was in charge of her excellent education. A few years later, Mary's grandfather, Philip the Good, died, leaving Mary's father as the Duke of Burgundy. Mary was his heir unless he had a son, so of course, he married again with the hope of having a son. Mary's father's new wife was a woman named Margaret of York, sister of the King of England. Mary was only 10 years younger than her new stepmother. They became friends and they shared many of the same interests. Mary's grandmother, Isabella of Portugal, died a few years later, and when Mary was just 19 years old, her father died in battle. His body was found with part of his face eaten off by wolves. Mary was now Duchess of Burgundy. Margaret and Charles the Bold never had any children during their nearly 10-year marriage, so Mary, the Duchess of Burgundy, had many suitors. Since Mary was just a few years old, Mary's father had considered marrying her off to many different men. After she became Duchess, Mary's godfather, the Dauphin, now King Louis XI of France, wanted to control Mary's lands, so a marriage was almost arranged between Mary and Louis XI's son, who was only 6 years old. Mary did not want to marry a child who was 13 years younger than her, so the marriage never went ahead. Mary's father had left her the Dukedom of Burgundy along with many problems she had to deal with. Mary soon signed the Great Privilege, which sorted out many of these issues and gave individual provinces within her lands more rights. To make her even harder to get rid of, she had to get married to a powerful husband and have an heir. The husband she chose was Maximilian, the son of the Holy Roman Emperor. They were married by proxy. Then, once Maximilian arrived in Ghent, they were married in person. Maximilian gave Mary an engagement ring, which was a rare practice then. Mary and Maximilian had quite a happy marriage. They would go hunting together, they taught each other languages, and Mary even tried to teach Maximilian how to ice skate, which he could barely do. Mary's greyhound and some falcons slept in Mary and Maximilian's bedchamber with them. Quite soon, Mary became pregnant and had a son, Philip, in 1478. Philip would go on to become the husband of Queen Juana the Mad of Castile. Maximilian did not get to see his first child until a few months after the birth, as he was busy fighting Louis XI of France. Mary's second child, Margaret, was born in 1480 and was named after Margaret of York, Mary's stepmother. Their final child, born in 1481, was another son named Francis, who died when he was just a few months old. In 1482, Mary's master of horse decided to arrange a falcon hunt for Mary and Maximilian. During the hunt, Mary was thrown from her horse. Mary was in a lot of pain but lived for another 2 weeks. She died on March 27, 1482, at just the age of 25. Maximilian was inconsolable and held a grand funeral for his beloved wife. He became regent of Burgundy for their 4-year-old son, Philip the Handsome. Philip ended up marrying Queen Juana the Mad of Castile. Their son, Charles V, became King of Spain, Holy Roman Emperor, and Duke of Burgundy. Maximilian married Anne of Brittany and Bianca Maria Sforza, then died after outliving Mary by almost 37 years.